Well, hello, my fabulous magicians. I hope you're doing well. Well, I have to backpedal here and I have a big announcement. I am going to continue the lessons, albeit though at two lessons, two video recorded lessons per month, and the other lessons will be bonuses or written. And the reason I'm doing that is because if we're traveling, I can be sitting in an airport writing up a lesson, but I can't necessarily be videoing it. Also, you may not realize that I spend a lot of hours before the lesson studying, and I go over the lesson myself. So it's not just a matter of sitting down and recording as I do for readings. The lessons I actually put my heart and soul into, and so to have to do that at least once a week was a little bit restrictive for our lifestyle that changed suddenly. But that's okay. I put out the poll and not one person said no. Everybody said yes, please continue. So I am. So you're the first to know. I'm going to continue. I'll put an announcement up later today, letting people know that the lessons will continue, although in a different kind of format. All right. With that being said, I now am excited because I was going to do how to apply all the cards to different types of decks. I'm not going to go one by one. I'm just going to show you some examples. And then I was going to wrap it up by how you can become a tarot card reader for fun and profit. But instead, I'm going to go deeper into the lessons. My next week will be combinations. I also have on deck, I'm going to show you how to work with oracle cards and tarot cards, how you can blend them together. I still will do a lesson on how to make tarot for fun and profit. And I've got a whole bunch of other ideas now that I'm just really happy that we can continue this because I sincerely enjoy doing this. All right, without further ado, let's get started with today's lesson on how do you, now that you know the basics of the Rider-Waite system, now you can take that and apply it to other styles of deck, themes of deck. And some of you will have just one deck and you work with that. One of the people online, Lord Famous Fortunes, that's what he does. He has one deck. He works with one deck, no matter what the question, no matter what the subject matter is. You can also do that. That's quite okay. Remember, there are no tarot police, so do what you want. Now, I prefer, much to my husband's chagrin, I have different decks that do different functions. Many of you've seen my mystical medleys that I use for Harry, and maybe once after I get out of that, I'll use this more for younger people. It has more of a cartoonish kind of theme to it. So to me, it's a little bit more lighthearted. I don't think I would do this one for anyone in particular who is having marital problems. And I don't think I would keep this deck as my sole deck. You might. Maybe you are an artist and you love the cartoon aspect of it. The drawing of it is really something that you enjoy. So that would be my first inclination is, what is your vibe? Right? My vibe is, I love like the Victorian, the 1800 to early 1900. That's kind of my vibe. I kind of really like that. And I think that's why I was really attracted to this set. This is called the Relative Tarot, and they've actually taken little bits of the Rider-Waite and then made it a little bit more Victorian looking. They've added some actual photos from the early 19th century, and I love that. That's kind of my vibe. The late 1800s, early 1900s, Victorian, Edwardian. actually right up to about World War II. That's what I like. So this deck especially speaks to me. So I love this deck, and I actually use this deck a lot for my own personal. And it's easy. This is an easy deck because it does have some of the rider weight, but adds a different element to it. So again, it's what are you looking for? Are you looking for something that you can take your rider weight and then expand on it? Or you're looking for something completely different. So this Gilded Tarot by his name escaped me. What's Ciro Marchetti? This takes in a lot of the rider weight in a completely different form. Makes it a little bit more realistic, as you can see. Instead of just their digital art. Look at the moon, looks a little bit different, but still has like the same pillars and the same wolf and dog and the lobster. King of Wands is looking in the same direction. So he's taken the rider weight and elevated it. That's the way I look at it. Look at the Eight of Cups. Now, to me, this Eight of Cups, what's important with the Eight of Cups is that there's a missing cup. So there's something missing. Well, that's not indicated here at all. So that's why you have to kind of look and see what speaks to you. If this speaks to you and you've memorized the rider weight, you would be able to put that into here. But if you don't want to memorize, then you might have to adjust what the card is trying to tell you, right? Like look at the Two of Cups, and there's no lion and eagle here for Leo and Scorpio, as I taught you. So there's nothing here on that. So would you remember that, or does that matter to you? Right? So yeah, look at the Six of Pentacles. It doesn't show that one is for the giver, because they get something out of it, whether they get karma or they get recognition. But at the same time, it shows pentacles being handed out. So that's where you have to decide what speaks to you. Like, do you want to just keep working with the rider weight until you know it off by heart? Or do you want to take just the basics of the tarot card and then apply it to your new deck? So this is one of my favorite ones. I use this quite often, the Golden Tarot. And it speaks to that kind of back in time look that I really look for. And it's based on the rider weight. It's very easy to transfer over. That's the word I'm looking for. Like all the cups are matching with the same cups in the rider weight. The Five of Coins, the coins, and the two people outside. Six of Cups passing down. They're definitely inside of a walled area that they're feeling very safe and comfortable. Etc., etc. So it's easy for me to transfer that knowledge over, but at the same time, here's a good example, the Eight of Wands has a little message on it. So when I'm reading this card and I don't just say it's action or what's coming, I also add to it, because this card indicates there's a message that is coming in this action, or there's some kind of message coming towards you. And especially with the birds, because the birds is my internet card. So I would take the knowledge that I have of what the basis of the rider weight is and apply that to this card, plus what the artist or creator of this deck was trying to convey, right? Nine of Wands, very, very close, even has the bandages on the head. Queen of Coins. Now this Queen of Coins isn't holding a coin, and there isn't a rabbit in here, but there is a dog and a bird, and there is a coin on their breast and a big coin here. So, but I don't get the feeling that it's somebody who's protecting what they've manifested and how they manifest, right? Did she get her money just from her husband? Where, or from her inheritance from her parents? Doesn't indicate to me that this is somebody who can manifest money or manifest abundance. It is somebody who has abundance. So I would just adjust that a little way. Now this chariot I like. You'll see a lot of chariots. They do have the reins to the horses, and that's not the part of the chariot. This chariot is not moving. This chariot I like. That's why I like this deck. So many people say the chariot is movement. It's not. It's being in control of your mind, body, and soul. And I like this because she's completely she's in control here, and she doesn't have any reins to the black and white swan. All right. The tower has two people. So that's how I evaluate cards, is because they're triggers for me to express what I know from the Rider Waite. And I find that sometimes, so as you well know, I just have the Crow Tarot now, and I'm just working with it. And although it's based on Rider Waite, there's other things in here that are not in the Rider Waite. Like, for example, a laurel wreath on the Three of Cups. What did they win, right? Justice is fine, but the sword is pointing down. And what do I know about the sword pointing up and pointing down? So I would just apply that information to this card, right? And that's the thing, is when it's your symbology, it's what's most important to you, right? Maybe what sword up, sword down isn't important to your subconscious, so that doesn't matter to you. In mine, that's the way I was trained, and so when I see the sword down, to me the battle is over. You're not ready to fight for justice. Here's the Six of Coins again, and it's more balanced, rather than the original Six of Coins has 3, 1, and 2. So it shows it's not that he's trying to balance out his karma or his name or whatever. As I showed you, it is the Nine of Cups, and maybe he's trying to balance out how he got his money. In this respect, this shows one crow has a fish. So is he dropping the fish or is he grabbing the fish? I don't know. So I'm still studying this deck. So sometimes you have to disengage a little bit what you've learned from the Rider Waite and try and see what the creator is trying to show you in the cards. Here's this deck of cards. You saw this, the Intuit Tarot, as I was training, and some cards have not only in illustrations, they have the keywords. So these are great for learning the cards, but I would use these. So Five of Coins, I don't see the stained glass or like where she's kicked out. There's only one person here. So yes, I agree with left out in the cold, rejection, turmoil, alienated, harsh conditions, financial ruin, loss, change, breakup. I agree with all of that. So if that was a way for you to learn the cards, by all means do it. But I would use these cards more so for the keywords than I would for the illustrations. Like this Three of Coins is, I mean, sure, they're all smiling, but they aren't celebrating anything. They aren't, is this guy joining in, or is he just walking by with his things? It looks like these two are are working together? Is he just smiling that they're happy and he's going to walk through the office? So that's why you have to be kind of careful with cards like this. They're great for learning the keywords, if that's what you want to do, rather than learning just by the illustrations. So those kind of cards with the keywords are awesome for that. Then we get into cards that are basically Rider-Waite, but really different, right? The Rider-Waite, this is the Three of Swords into the heart, and someone's up, but is that betrayal or is that grief? Knight of Wands. I would use when I do use these cards, you look at what direction these cards are going. These cards have beautiful illustrations, and I would use the basic keywords for the Knight of Wands here. But I would follow the illustrations. The Rider-Waite Knight of Wands is running this way. This one is running into the future. Look at the Tower here. We have somebody trying to hang on to the destruction rather than the two falling out, where one is looking towards the future and one is just accepting what is happening. So yes, you would use the basics of the Tower of, sudden upheaval. But then in this card, you would look at it as trying to fix things, or not believing that things are falling apart, right? It just changes it a little bit. So this is where you have to go back to your symbology book that I put in the Google Drive, and look at what the symbols mean. Like, what does this peacock mean? What does the sunflower mean here in the Queen of Wands? What is this creator trying to tell you about this Queen of Wands? I don't see a black cat, but I do see the sunflowers. I don't see the lions, which would show it's Leo. So is this creator not taking any astrology into it? Here we have the King of Cups, and this King of Cups has a ship. So is this King of Cups leaving you soon? Right? I don't see any astrological indicators on here. So you'd have to look and see if this kind of illustration spoke to you. Ten of Cups. So we have the rainbow, we have the family, we have the happy couple and joy. So those aspects are there. So again, this one extremely reflects the Rider-Waite. But now we have, look at the devil. Yes, it's webs that you're tied into. But there's other, like, where's the male and female that are still from the Lover's card, right? And also in this web that you get tangled into, how easy is it to get untangled? Whereas a chain, you just pull over your head. So you really have to, when you find unique decks like this, like, look at the Magician. I don't see, I just see a wand. I don't see the cups or swords, or it's not showing that you use all your tools. It's not showing to me, taking from the ethers and bringing it down into earth. So I would then base this on what I know about the Magician. Plus, the Magician should be looking at you because it's showing you are the creator of it. Whereas this one is looking down. This goose is looking this way. So it's, what are you creating in the future? What are you transforming? There's a butterfly here. So with ones that are really, really based on it, but somewhat off, you have to work with them a lot before you work with them with somebody else. You have to get to know the illustrations. You don't ever want to be like, and then you're just showing that you're memorizing the tarot, and you're not accessing your subconscious mind. So, for example, this Marseille Vintage Tarot, which you saw earlier in the course, which the major arcanas are based on in the Rider-Waite, the court people are based on in the Rider-Waite. This is the original. If you see, this is the Queen of Cups. But then look at the pips. Like, how can you read that? How can you read that? That's where it becomes, let me move this. That's where it becomes just a case of memorization. And then to me, that takes the subconscious mind out of it. Subconscious mind works on images and symbologies. And here we have the 10 of Pentacles. What does that mean? It just a bunch of pentacles. Yeah, you've got a lot of pentacles. Oh, you got a lot of pentacles. Oh, here we have the 10 of, is it swords or wands? And then you just become guessing. And also, I mean, if you were a psychic medium, you could maybe see what the card, what message was coming through. Here's the 10 of Cups. Does that look like the 10 of Cups? Like, is that joy? Like, what is, where's the rainbow? Like, what do you get? Here's the Ace of Cups. Does that show like it's anything coming from heaven, from I don't know. To me, I can't do that. Even though I've memorized a lot of them, I don't feel that the client or myself gets anything out of Three of Wands that way. But if you have the Three of Wands and he's looking and you're saying your ship is coming in, you've made your plans, you've set them out to sail, and now you're patiently waiting for the results of what you set out. So, but I'm not saying that you can't do that. Maybe you do have some psychic mediumship and those cards do speak to you. They don't speak to me, but that doesn't mean they won't speak to you. So don't base everything on my perception. Oh, here it is. Like, I've got this beautiful little deck. It's called Arcana. It's a beautiful little deck, as I show a skull. It has great illustrations on the major arcanas, but the pips are the playing cards. And I have the playing cards. I read with playing cards, and I apply this. So this is 9 of Cups. So this is, I know what 9 of Cups means. Here we have the King of Pentacles, and here we have the 6 of Pentacles. I know what the 6 of Pentacles means. So sometimes I'll take something like this. This is a great travel set for me, and it's nice and tidy. And also, I'm just spilling a secret here. Then we can play cards with them as well. Play a little Jim Rummy or something. So that, and they're called tarot playing cards. So I use them both ways. But generally it's just for quick decisions. And again, then we can play cards with them as well. So that's a 2-for-1 for me. Great little set for that. Now I'm going to go into sets that really somewhat based on Rider-Waite, but not really, like the haunted house ones. So we do have 8 of wands here, but there's no direction to it, right? Is it going this way? Is it going that way? They're coming right at you. Ace of Swords. Well, Ace of Swords is cutting your wrist. Well, yeah, Ace of Swords can cut, but the real meaning here is not here. You have to know your Rider-Waite before you would read a deck like this. Here's the Knight of Wands. Well, he's not even on a horse. He's going this way rather than this way. He's scaring the bats. He actually has no movement, whereas the Knight of Wands has movement. So you can base it on this, on the Rider-Waite. I mean, there are some that are close. Here's the 9 of Swords. It's actually very close. It's pointless. It's going through her mind, body, and soul. It's obviously at night. So this is a good one. But here's the Two of Pentacles. There's two pentacles, but that's about it. So decks like this, again, you have to use your symbology plus your knowledge of Rider Waite, right? The Six of Wands here. Well, victory sometimes can be ego. Here's the Queen of Cups. So they're close enough that you can get something out of them, but at the meantime, you've seen me read with these. I also pull what's coming out of the card. Like here's a good example, Three of Cups. They've used the original Three of Cups, but then they show she has no access to the Three of Cups. She's drowning. So that isn't the original idea of the Three of Cups. So you have to read, you have to practice with these over and over and over, and actually put each card side by side, and then see what the difference, what the deck is trying to tell you. And remember, it's all what the deck is trying to tell you. Here's another deck. I love this little deck, the Life is a Board Game Tarot, and it's Monopoly. And it has no illustrations on it, well, except like the star, but it is based on Monopoly, but it has the keywords. And then down below, Eight of Pentacles, Watch Me Work Avenue. Well, that fits perfect. But here's the star. There's no keywords to it, so you'd have to know what the star means. Four of Cups, not in an interested place. So this is completely based on, and then here we have the Empress. I thought that was good for that. But what does that tell you? Well, that tells me that maybe somebody who's engaged, somebody who has a big diamond, but it doesn't really tell me fertility or pregnant with possibilities, that kind of thing. So these, again, the world, that's a map. That doesn't really tell me what the world card is about. So again, when you go to these kind, you really have to have a very good understanding of the Rider Waite. Again, the pips are actually really good. Three of Pentacles, Collaboration Avenue. Well, that's a great keyword. It's just when it comes to the major arcanas and the there's the Hermit. Well, I get it. That's the light, but does that tell you anything? Strength. Well, who's holding that lion down? I'm trying to look for a court card. There, it's just Queen of Swords, supporter of truth and protection. Now, if that was in reverse, what does that tell you? It doesn't tell you anything. So when you do play with these cards that are very unique, very themed, you really have to know your stuff before you get to them. Because otherwise, what if you think the Empress is a diamond ring instead of all the abundance and luxury and pregnant with possibilities and fertility and vitality and that's not all in a diamond ring to me. So these are great once you really have honed down a lot of the other. I use these for some people with business decisions, and it's extremely accurate for that. Extremely. I've counseled a few people with business decisions on that. Now we're going to get to some kind of esoteric ones, like the Angel Tarot cards. Beautiful, beautiful cards that have a combination of the moon, what the angel is, a little message. But look at this illustration. Does that show like the moon card to you? Knight of Earth. So this would be Knight of Pentacles. Yes, the knight is not moving. I like the keywords on it. That one's okay. Four of Water. So Four of Cups. Again, it just gives you a little bit of keywords, but it doesn't really um, speak to me. The illustration really doesn't speak to me about like ignoring an opportunity, or I guess in some ways she's looking at the three here rather than this big one. This one really, I don't get this one at all. Three of air, which is the three of swords. Great sadness, take time to heal, the need to forgive yourself or others. And this is true. But look, it's like it's three horses hugging, like, and a little, I don't think, I never get into great sadness when I see a little pony. Like it to me, and what's the air element in here? We're in a forest. To me, that's more earth. So I don't really connect with this one. Knight of air, it doesn't have that attack feature to me. I guess in some respects he's holding his sword up, he's ready for attack. Eight of water, this one, okay, deciding to move on. 10 of air, well, that's a 10 of swords. The end of a difficult situation, embrace the change and expect things to get better now. I got 10 unicorns there. I think unicorns are fun and happy, and this card's actually kind of light. So this deck here, I've had it forever, and I think I've used it twice. I might put this one up for sale. I don't know. I never attached myself to it. Here's the 7 of air sneaking away. What, like, the illustrations to me just really didn't match. I might as well have pips and just use my imagination. Here's the sun, happy outcome, brilliant new ideas that lead to success. Have confidence in yourself. Well, I agree, but as I've taught you, the sun is what where all our souls come from. And I don't know if some of you caught on to that. The sun in Latin is soul, S-O-L. So how does this show a brand new soul coming out of the sun? So anyways, that's my, you might really enjoy this type and really pull into your symbology, your artistic talent might really talk to these cards, and that's fine. Obviously they do for some people. That more dreamy, artistic, kind of fantasy kind of world, that might speak to you. And you might get a lot more out of this than I ever did. But I wanted to show you, this is a great example of a deck that doesn't speak to me. And as soon as you recognize that, when you don't have the connection, you're not going to get good reads out of it, because your subconscious is looking for something else that it's not finding there. All right. Here's another, this is the Guardian Angel Tarot cards. This one, you can tell I've had a lot of fun with these ones. I used these ones when my children were a little bit younger. Not that they were children, but they're just very gentle. I use them, for example, my husband's mother. She's 90 and she probably won't be with us very long. And she keeps asking me to read her cards. I read these ones because there's no Ace of Swords, there's no death, there's no hanging man. They're very, very, very gentle. And also it has a little blurb on here. Inner strength, and so you have great courage and kindness. You may not realize how strong and powerful you are, but there's no problem you can't solve. So this is how come I can't remember? I've just drawn a blank. What's number 11? Is that I'm so embarrassed. I can't remember. Temperance? No, it's not temperance. Inner strength. Oh, hell. Let's get on to here's positive recognition. This is number 19. I know what this is. This is the sun. Congratulations, your plans have worked out perfectly, and now's your time to shine. Brilliant new ideas present themselves to you, and success is all but assured. Express yourself openly and honestly, knowing that these surrounding you are trustworthy. Be open to unexpected opportunities. There's even a little sun in there, and now this is a young child coming out of the sun, so I can connect to that. That is bugging me now. Oh, justice. Justice. What am I? I knew it. I was like, why? That was a weird blank. 5 of action. So that would be 5 of wands. Your angels want you to know that your current challenge pushes you to be assertive and self confident rather than struggles, right? So, 4 of emotion is 4 of cups. So it actually kind of shows that you're kind of ignoring somebody. I don't know. I just find these very, very gentle. So for somebody who is like my mother-in-law, who is honestly, if she makes it to Christmas, we'll be surprised. You know, so successful completion. They're just really gentle, little angels. 3 of emotions, so 3 of cups, and the illustrations actually are kind of matching. Guardian of abundance. So this is the Knight of Pentacles, right? 2 of abundance. So anyways, so this is, it's so weird because that's why I thought I would really like the Angel Tarot cards, because it's by the same creator. And I thought, okay, well, I'll go for the Angel Tarot cards, and I didn't connect with them at all. And don't feel bad if you don't connect with tarot cards. That's why there are so many. And like I said, personally, like I say, the Guardian Angel Tarot cards. If I'm reading for a younger person, I'd say about 18. I generally do these ones, and or somebody who's never had a reading before and they're a little bit young. Sometimes I'll do 16-year-old. It depends on the 16-year-old. If they're already reading and doing stuff for themselves, I might. But I use these or for very elderly people. I don't want them to see the death card or the devil card, and I just don't. And I've got a lot of elderly aunts and uncles, and like I say, my husband's mother, and that's what I read that for. Let's see. This is the deck that I use mostly for health readings, believe it or not. The Antique Anatomy Tarot. And this is kind of a neat deck. And actually, this is the one my daughter likes the most. But interestingly, she's a Scorpio. And the lady, Claire Goodchild, who developed this deck, and she also developed Lenormand to match it, she's also Scorpio. So I'm not surprised. So what I like about this is it actually will show you, like here's the King of Cups. That doesn't mean anything to me. Calming tonic. Well, okay, I get it. But otherwise, the iconography, the illustrations don't really mean that much. Like here's the hangman, but he's actually hanging from his neck. So how I use these is, oh, here's the Queen of Swords. I would use these as, do you have a headache? Right? Here, this would be, I see the whole skeleton here. So this to me would be bones. You know, are you having troubles like with an arthritis or rheumatism? Calming tonic. I would even, because this is the head up here, is maybe you need some sort of medication. Here's the Knight of Coins, and it just shows a skull here. So maybe it's your thoughts that are creating some of this. So that's what I like these for health readings. If this came up in reverse, I'd say maybe you're taking too much medication because it's in reverse. And these ones I go mostly by the illustrations, kind of based on the what the name of the card is, because it's the Queen of Swords here. This doesn't speak to me of the Queen of Swords at all. This speaks to me as a headache. And swords, of course, are the brain, right? Here's the Six of Cups, but it's in reverse. So are the cups spilling? Are you perhaps drinking? Are you taking self-medication? Maybe you're taking too much medication. Here's the Lovers, but it's the heart. Well, are you having heart problems? Here's the, yeah, I just really like these. The Five of Coins. And look at this. This is hands and feet. Again, I would say, if this was in reverse, I'd say watch out for your hands and feet for, accidents like stubbing toes, maybe cutting your fingers while you're cooking. Or it could also be mobility issues or type of, because coins are bones. So it could be a type of arthritis, maybe in the hands or in the feet. Here's interesting, nine of rods. And these little rods are, believe it or not, I think they're for surgery or something. But I know that the Nine of Rods is embattlement. Nine of Wands is embattlement. And maybe you're all tied up. Maybe this is stress, like you can't relax. And what are rods? Rods are muscles. So your muscles are in knots. You're all tied up. You're too tight. You're too tight. You need, maybe you need a massage. Maybe you need to exercise. You need to loosen up your muscles. So that's why I really like this deck. And again, I'm taking what I know from Rider-Waite and I'm applying it directly to the illustrations. I'm not like, for example, this is the Five of Swords. Well, this just looks like a regular pip card to me, but because it's knives like this, I might say, do you need some type of surgery, right? Because I'm only use this for health. Only use this for health. You may need a type of surgery, and surgery could be something as simple as getting a tooth pulled or filling in, and it doesn't have to be really severe. And this is only a 5. So this would tell me that you possibly would need some kind of surgery on something. This is interesting here. This is the Devil. And so again, I would say, are you using some kind of drugs to change something about your brain, right? Or drinking, like intoxication, because it's not normal to have horns. So you're doing something to your brain that isn't normal. You're doing something to your head that isn't normal. And if it was in reverse, it'd be like, are you trying to quit things in some type of intoxication? That kind of thing. But yeah, so anyways, I'm not going to go card by card. I really love this deck. Oh, look at this one. This is one of my favorite ones. Let Go Potion, Aura Cleanse, Soul Journey, Wake Up Potion. This is the 8 of Cups. So let go, despair. So this is walking away from things. So again, are you using too much of Let Go Potion? Are you drinking too much? Are you taking too much medication because this is all spilling out? And maybe if you aren't, rather than walking away and blowing up your life, have you thought about contacting a doctor? Maybe your blood sugar, right? Because cups is blood. Maybe your blood sugar is out of whack. And I think I've told this story before. This is just because we're talking about health. I can tell you this is an absolute true story. And so anyways, the lady who does my nails, once in a while we trade and I read her cards and she does my nails. So just before Christmas last year, It started in October. Her and her husband were having problems, and the cards kept saying, "You're going to work it out. You're going to work it out." November came, and she says, "I just can't take this anymore." And the cards kept saying, "You're going to work it out. You're going to work it out." I went on December 21st to get my nails done for Christmas, and I gifted her a reading. It wasn't an exchange. I gifted her a Christmas gift for a reading, and she said, "I'm doing Christmas with the family. I don't want to wreck the kids' Christmas. I'm going to be packed up and gone on Boxing Day." And for if you're American, Boxing Day is December 26th. It's generally celebrated in the Commonwealth countries. It's also called St. Stephen's Day. So she said, "I'm waiting. I'm going to make sure the kids have one more good Christmas, and I've already got a place to go. Everything's in line. So I can't book your next appointment because I don't know how I'm going to be set up, but I will contact you as soon as I can." I said, "All right." So I read her card. Says, your marriage isn't ending." She's, "Shanta, I'm telling you right now, I've arranged somewhere. I can't take it anymore. I can't take his rudeness. I can't take his outbursts." She was in no harm. She was in no harm, but he was very, very rude to her, ignorant outbursts, mean. And she's, "I can't take it anymore." And I read her cards, and I said, your marriage you aren't going anywhere." Well, on Boxing Day, I got a text from her, and she said, "Oh my God, Shanta, we're at emergency. This morning he went unconscious. I called an ambulance. He's in a diabetic coma. We're trying to get him out." Here it was his blood sugar the whole time. He just didn't want to go see a doctor. And here it was his blood sugar that was causing his mood swings, his outbursts. And I've heard that before, that blood sugar can really change your personality. And here it was because he was diabetic, not because he was purposely being mean to her. And to this day, they're still married. So always trust your cards when your cards are telling you something. So that's why I especially like this card. Rather than walk away from your marriage or whatever, get to a doctor. Is it your blood sugar? Because remember, cups are blood, or are you having other problems, especially if it's in reverse? Are you drinking too much? Are you are you trying to self-medicate? So anyways, that's my story about that. But this little the antique anatomy tarot, I love it for health reading, and it's so bang on. So bang on. This is another one. I know I'm going too long on this one, but here's Beauty Potion. It's the Queen of Cups. And when it's in reverse, I take it as the person is worrying about aging. And they're letting their emotion, they look in the mirror and they're letting their emotions take hold of them. Yeah, the really, really cool little deck. Here's a fertility tonic for the Knight of Cups. If it's in reverse, I'll ask, are you having sexual problems with your partner? Anyways, it's crazy how bang on. So that's using a deck for a specific purpose, and that's all I use this deck for. Sometimes I add in the Lenormand with it because it matches up actually quite nicely. If it's a complex, or if I'm doing a recovery reading, I do a lot of those. I've just had my surgery. How am I going to recover, or how is my recovery going to go? I'll add the Lenormand and we'll do a deep dive on that. And it's very, very, very unique and accurate. That's all I can say about that. So now I'm going to talk about a couple of different decks you haven't seen me use before, and that's because I'm just learning them. This is the Sherlock Holmes Tarot. I want to do it for my crime ones. This is right up my alley, the Sherlock Holmes, that era. Oh, look at that, doesn't want to cooperate. It's really difficult to learn, and because it doesn't have cups and swords. It has, some of you might be familiar with this deck. I think what I'm going to do, because I am having difficulties learning it, I think what I'm going to do is just kind of not memorize. I'm going to go completely by the illustrations and not by what the cups are, right? So we have inspector. This just says 6. What does that mean to you? Oh, there's a magnifying glass. So 6 of magnifying glass. What does that mean to you? Here's Dr. Watson. Well, that's strength. Like, how does that speak of strength to you? Here's ace of question marks. See that? Ace of question marks. Look at the 10 of footprints. So it is really, I don't even know how they got away with calling it tarot. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to access them. Baker Street irregular, it is a question mark. Here's the 7 of eyeballs. But I've been kind of playing with them, and they can make a really great story. So I think what I'm going to do, so, for example, you lay them out and now you create a story of what's going on, right? So, who did the murder? Well, they talked about it. One actually did it. And then there was a witness who explained it, kind of thing. They are kind of dark. Here's 2 men who are trying to solve it. Peeler. I guess a peeler was a police officer back then. Yeah, so see what I mean? Like, this is 3 of magnifying glass, which is on brand for Sherlock Holmes, but what does that mean? Right? So I'm trying to study these to do some crime scenes with them. I was hoping to have them ready for the Jack the Ripper, but I'm just not. I pick them up every now and then, and I'm not connecting with them, so then I put them back. Then I try and connect with them and see what they want from me, and then I put them back. And I just want to show you these kind of cards, because you're going to run in, if you're like me and you start collecting them, you might get a deck and you think, oh, there's something wrong with me. There isn't. It's what your subconscious wants to pick up about them. Here's the Byzantine tarot. I thought, because I have the Sufi tarot, I thought that would be kind of cool to get the Byzantine tarot, which they are wisdom from an ancient empire, as the Sufis are. I'm starting to get a little bit more. Like, look at this. This is the 6 of Wands, so I can pick up on that. 7 of Wands, I can pick up on that. I just don't see the 6 poking at them. 8 of Wands. See, what I don't understand about this is one is going this way and these ones are going that way. So these are things I have to overcome and just realize, what is the creator trying to tell me here? Mixed messages, perhaps. 7 are going this way, 1 is going that way. Is it so? Would I, if this card was up, would this tell me sorry, I thought I had that off. What, is this telling me somebody's going to intercept the message, right? So here's the 9 of Wands, trying to, overcoming, embattled, but made it. So this one's a little bit closer. Just some of the iconography I've got to get used to. So I wouldn't mind doing a reading with both ancient wisdoms and see what I come up with that. So this is again different tarot systems that you have to appreciate the creator and see what they are trying to tell you. This is a brand new one. It's called the Greetings from Madame Clara. Madame Clara Fortunes. I got this off of Etsy, 5-cent tarot. Madame Clara sees it all. It's actually kind of cute, and it comes with a yes or no coin. So if you're doing a reading that has a yes or no answer, I'm not sure if I've connected with these yet or not. I don't like that one. I'm trying. They're cute cards, but they're a little bit too busy for my liking. What I like about them, so here's the Magician. It has a lot of words on it, the keywords for upright and in reverse. So here's the Magician, master of skill, resourceful, concentration, but when it's in the reverse, it's manipulation, deception, and unfocused. And see, here's the High Priestess, intuition, in reverse, repression, and then just different keywords. But to me, in my mind, it's a little bit too busy for me. There's a little bit too much going on. I would have preferred not to have this background in here, but that just could be me. Maybe you think these are beautiful. And so as you can tell, they're still in order. I've only had them on my desk, so they're picking up on my energy. Here's the Emperor, authority, power, paternity, and in reverse, control, domination, rigidity. I can agree with that. Their keywords are right on point. But, if you have the Empress and the Emperor here, I don't know how I would create a story. And then the Hierophant, how do you create a story from that rather than just, each individual card? I haven't figured that out yet. And these were really expensive with no refund. So I almost wonder if I have to force myself. Maybe I'll give them away as a gift or a present or something. But yeah, how would you create a story out of that? Maybe you can. Maybe nature is your thing. Like maybe you love nature and this egret speaks to you. And like to me, the Empress with the butterfly, well, the Empress doesn't transform, right? And that's what a butterfly means to me. But maybe butterfly to you means beauty, and the Empress does represent beauty. So, maybe this is something that you would speak to, like look at the beetles on this, on the Hierophant. The Lovers, we just have a couple of snakes, an apple, and a moth. Like, yeah, I even though she did a good job of advertising them on her website, once I got them, I didn't realize how busy they were, and like just even this edging here. To me, they're just way, way, way too busy. Here's the Page of Matches, which is the Page of Wands. Initiative, discovery, exploration. I don't consider that. To me, the Page of Wands brings messages of things that grow. Anyways, so that's why I'm just showing you this because I want you to be aware that that you will find tarot cards, and even as much as you think that you're going to love them, you will find some that you pay for and you get them and you don't. And don't worry about it. It's not you. Don't think, oh, I can't connect with cards. No, it's your subconscious. If If your subconscious can't connect to them, your subconscious can't connect to them. Like, yeah, like look at the Fool here is a frog, new beginnings, spontaneity, free spirit. I don't know, like that's not really what a frog means to me. Like to me, a frog is transformation as well. It goes from tadpole to a frog. Um, yeah, so there's a grasshopper here. Um, yeah, so anyways, like yeah, that's just way too busy for me. Um, So, anyways, I might give these away as well. Who knows? Some of you might, if you see a contest, you know why. There's nothing wrong with these cards at all. Nothing. They're in perfect condition. I just, when I got them, they didn't mean any, like my subconscious just didn't connect. And here I thought I would love them because they are of the aesthetic of the 1800s. Right? This reminds you, you could just imagine this on the side of a gypsy caravan or something from the 1800s. And I just, yeah, yeah, I got many that I just have never connected with, and that's okay. That doesn't mean the cards are wrong. That doesn't mean I am wrong. It just means my subconscious has not connected to them. Um, I have so many decks. I could go on and on and on all day doing this. I just wanted to point out the different styles of decks, that there are decks that echo the Rider Waite, and you can apply them right away immediately. Here's the Eight of Cups walking away. You apply them right away. Other ones you might have to work with a little bit. Or there might be some that are a mixture, right? Of Rider Waite that you can work with right away, but they have some elements in it that might be a little bit different, and then you have to decide, are you going to go with what the artist was trying to tell you, or are you going to go with what you know? Like, look at this Knight of Wands is the knight is echoes the Knight of Wands quite well. Same with the Star and the two vessels. So, decide what you want to do. Are you okay with just memorizing each card, and then so it doesn't you can read tarot with a plain deck of cards without the major arcanas, right? So this is the P is the page. So if we want to play cards with this, we take out the pages and the majors, and then we have a deck of cards. But then if I quickly want to read on something, then I put those back in, and I know what the Two of Swords means. We have to make a decision. And there's a lot of clues in playing cards, right? So look at the spades are not facing each other, so it's not facing a decision, right? I put the playing card meanings, it's in the Google Drive. So you have to decide what you want to do. Do you want to read cards by memorization, or do you want to read cards by illustration, or a good combination of the two? And how good are you at adapting what the card is what the creator is trying to tell you what that card means? Because you have to remember the creator is making their symbology in the card. And like I've said, symbology is different for everyone. And my example is the tree. Some people are afraid of trees because maybe they fell out of a tree, maybe lightning hit a tree and fell on their house. Maybe there just was a bad storm and lightning fell on their house or something. Or maybe they're just afraid of trees. And yet other people, like myself, I love trees. To me, trees are health and abundance, and we can either chop them down and we have wood to keep us warm, or the tree provides us with fruit to eat. To me, the tree means health and abundance and growth, and trees grow into big things, and they mean stability and long lasting. Trees last for decades. So you have to decide if on the iconography. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, I don't have any, there's many decks that, for example, have witches in them. I don't, not that I have anything against witches. My symbology does not apply to that. I don't have any with cats in them. Not that I don't like cats. Both my kids have cats. We've had cats. Nothing wrong with cats. I don't connect with cats. So I have no tarot cards with cats in them. And I could go on and on. You can find, there's thousands of tarot cards out there. So again, you can have one deck and say, this is my deck. And oh, I know, I forgot to show, and you probably already know, this is my my ethereal visions. This is the one when I try and channel or connect with someone on the other side. That's all I use this one for. So I keep this one pure, that's all I'm using it for. This black and gold tarot, I only use this for sports betting and stock market. And as long as I keep it as that, it stays, the results are excellent. So that's why I have decks that I only use for that. I never will use this one for health. I'll never use this one for a general reading for someone else. Uh, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. I use this for business. When people ask me business decisions, I use my haunted house for crimes and other things. I never use it for health or other personal, but that's just me. And then of course I've got my pile of tarot cards that I just don't connect with, like this one and this one. Like I said, I will wait and see if I get into the Sherlock Holmes one and do some crime reading with it. And the angel cards here. And actually, I should release them back into the universe, because somebody out there might might connect with them and say, I've been looking for that deck, or that looks perfect to me, and oh my God, that's the most beautiful deck I've ever seen. And that's great. And maybe I should just release them, because otherwise they're just sitting in my cupboard, not doing anything. This was the Aquarian Tarot. This was the first deck I ever had, and I got this as a birthday gift, because back then you had to be gifted tarot cards. And so my husband knew I was interested in card reading, and I was doing gypsy cards. We had gypsy cards, and he got me this deck for my birthday. And then I realized there's no such thing as the tarot police. You can do whatever you want. You could buy whatever deck you want, and that was probably a sad day in my husband's life, because ever since then it's just exploded. So this is kind of based on the Rider-Waite as well. Here's the Nine of Pentacles. So it has the bird, and it has the 3 and the 5, or the 3 and the 6, and it has the grape. So it's kind of the same. Wheel of Fortune and whatnot. So this is one of the first decks I had, and that got me started on my tarot journey. And I'm thinking, like, this has to be at least 60 years ago. I'm trying to see. The copyright's 1970 on this deck. I'm thinking like early 90s. I can't remember. I know I was in my 20s when he got it for me. But that was my very first deck. The very, very first deck that I owned. And the very last deck that I've gotten is the Crow Tarot. And then, of course, I've shown you some of the beautiful decks that I have. Yeah, this really makes me wonder if I should get rid of some of these decks. Some of the decks I have duplicates of, because we were traveling and we were overseas for quite a while. And I had a deck back home, and I knew I wasn't going to be home for months and months, and I really wanted to read on that deck. So I happened to buy one where we are, and I still have a duplicate of that. But yeah, so let me know if you have any questions about how to choose a deck, how to change it to from what you've learned to reading. Do you read exactly memorization, or do you take what the illustration is, or do you do a meld of it? You have to decide. You have to decide. And you can ask your deck. Never be afraid to ask your deck, right? I've taught you how to ask your deck if it's ready to be read. I've taught you how, do you want to be read in reversals? And then you can even ask your deck, do I read you by memorization? Do I read you by illustration? Or do I read you by a combination? And you decide that first. Don't ask all three. Ask what you feel comfortable with. Like, if you love cats and you understand cats and you have a cat tarot deck, you might not have to ask it that question. Right? So take it from what your intuition tells you to do. And things like the tarot, the board game, or if I'm using the pips in this, you have to base it on memorization. All right. Well, I hope that helped you with how to now apply all the deep dive I went into and apply it to a deck that you resonate with. And this might be a good time for you to decide if you are going to have different decks for different reasons, or just stick with one deck, which is absolutely suitable as well. You can stick with just your basic Rider-Waite tarot deck, and that will answer all your questions as well. There's everything you need in that deck, but it's completely up to you. Completely up to you what your subconscious wants to do with that. All right. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I was looking forward to this lesson. It's my favorite lesson, talking about all my decks and how I use them, and how I adjust them to what I'm reading on, and what's new and coming up in the decks that I have, and what's actually going to be redistributed out into the universe. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Next week, I'm going to talk about combinations. Combinations. So you might want to get your favorite deck out ready for that, and see how that deck now works with combinations. What's it trying to tell you? All right. Thanks so much. Take good care. See you online. Bye for now.